हेलो गाइस, दिस इज शिवांश। वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम लोग रामायण का सेकंड पार्ट के ऊपर बात करेंगे। देयर इज ए स्मॉल टेम्पल इन द विलेज ताकेर। इट इज सेड दैट व्हेन श्री राम एंड लक्ष्मण वर इन सर्च ऑफ सीता माँ, then they found a seriously injured bird named Jatayu. Then Jatayu told Sri Ram that Ravan had kidnapped Sita Ma and took her to the south from his Pushpak aircraft. When Sri Ram and Lakshmana moved towards the south, then they saw Danav. Sri Ram cut off Danav's arm and freed him from the curse. Danav named Kaban. Kaban questioned Sri Ram that Ravana was no ordinary foe. Ravan has control over both the earth and the sky. And the three words shuddered with Ravan's name. Then Kaban says that to defeat Ravana, you have to make powerful alliance. Kaban then gave Sri Ram direction. Go southward to the hermitage of sage Mahatma. There a devotee will waiting for you. So Sri Ram reached Hampi. Hampi situated in Karnataka. When Sri Ram reached at sage Mahatma hermitage, there was a lady who was chanting Shri Ram, Shri Ram. Shri Ram moved swiftly towards the lady. She picked the best berries to offer her, much awaited yes before offering the berry. A lady took a small bite and confirmed its sweetness and gave to Shri Ram. Without any hesitation to accept the bitter fruits, Shri Ram munched on a juicy treats. Lakshmana, however, saw in an insult and wanted to know why Shri Ram is eating the fruits that are tasted by the lady. But Shri Ram explained that it was an expression of pure love and devotion. Without lady expressing it, he also tells Lakshmana that no sorrow or tasteless fruits are offered to them, and he would therefore accept it with great joy. Shri Ram wholeheartedly blessed lady. The name of the lady was Shabri. Shabri pointed Shri Ram to the deposed Sugriv who lived in Rishyamukh Hill situated in Karnataka. Kinda is the kingdom of Vanar king Sugriv, the young brother of Vali. This was the kingdom where Sugriv ruled with his assistant. When Shri Ram heard Sugriv's account, they was shunned and thus Shri Ram had found the next clue. The clue was Sita's jewelry that fall from the sky. Interestingly, Shri Ram and Sugriv shared the same plight. Both of why they had been accused and their honor has been scourged, and so they made a pact. Shri Ram would help Sugriv to reclaim his kingdom and wife, while Sugriv would help Shri Ram to rescue beloved Sita. This pledge is known as Sugriv Vachne. But what is amazing is that even today, this expression used in political pledge. श्री राम ने वाली को मार दिया और सुग्रीव का राइट और उसकी वाइफ रूमा वापस दिला दी. As per the local people, Sugriv coronation took place at the Kodinda Ram temple. But with the time, weather changed, the rainy season arrived, and it took a break of 4 months in the mission to bring Sita back. While the clouds stopped thundering, Lakshmana began to crack down because Sugriv had forgotten his promise. But Sugriv started to correct this mistake. Then Sugriv immediately sent out someone to the Vanar soldiers, far and wide. It is said that suddenly an army of 30 lakhs gathered. The best commandos were called to lead the army. Among the best was Hanuman and Jamvan. Jamvan is the divine king of the air. A special army team was sent to the south with Hanuman. Rameshwaram, situated in Tamil Nadu. Suddenly in the Vindhya mountains, the special teams stumbled into Sampati. Sampati Jatayu का भाई था, and he had seen Ravan in flight. Sampati had provided them a crucial lead. Hanuman's special team flew like the wind towards the southern seas. Vanars that lived in trees and the forest had never seen the sea before. Lanka is the way across. Then Jamvan arrived and remembered Hanuman about his power, which has been forgotten. Hanuman regained his power and memory. Hanuman grew bigger in size and took a giant leap across the ocean. Hanuman reached Lanka and found Sita Ma. After that, Sri Ram and Lakshmana started towards their goal. But the bigger problem was how to cross such a big sea. To know this answer, Sri Ram penance in Adi Jagannath Perumala temple, in response to which the Lord of Seas, Varun, himself appeared to guide. Varun advised Sri Ram to use the skill of Nal. Nal is a son of Vishkarma. When Nal was a child, he was full of mischief. अपने खेल कूद में भगवान की मूर्तियां नदी में जाके फेंक देते थे। तो एक ऋषि ने उन्हें श्राप दिया कि तुम जो मूर्ति फेंकोगे वो पानी के ऊपर तैरने लगेगी। It was this curse that became a boon to the monkey army. According to legends, Ram shot an arrow into ground to make the spot for the start of the famed Ram Setu. It is claimed that, led by Nal, the monkey army constructed the bridge in just 5 days. Was even this possible? Absolutely. If you ask by the geologist, this is the most favorable place on earth to the construction between Sri Lanka and India. Geologically, because Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean meet at this point. So the currents of two oceans met among this axis. Because of this unique alignment, the sand sediments here cannot move to either side. So it forms sandbars that stretched all the way from India to Sri Lanka. Don't think of this bridge the way you have imagined a flyovers in current. The way it was planned, it used existing sandbars. At some places, there are undulations that result in gap. They filled them up with locally available resources like coral reef. Because they were lightweighted, they could lift them easily and fill the gaps, and this allowed them to walk across the ocean easily. Sri Lanka, country of South Asia. According to mythology, Lanka was crafted by the celestial architect Vishkarma for Kuber. When the construction of the city of Lanka was completed, the greatest of scholars, the great Pandit, was invited for the inauguration ceremony. One who rules over 3 worlds and who knows 4 Vedas and 6 Shastras. The name of the great Pandit and great knowledgeable person is Ravan. But Ravan को लालच आया लंका को देखकर. Then the Ravan was overcome with desire. He demanded the whole city. According to Asian tradition, Kuber was no choice, so Kuber had to grant him the city. Actually, Ravan and Kuber were both sons of sage Vishkrava and were stepbrothers. Despite of that, Ravan manipulated Kuber, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan, Ravan's real brother. Sigiriya, Central Province. Many believe that Ravan's iconic palace was atop on the plateau of Sigiriya. This Sigiriya hill has many intriguing secrets. According to folk tales, it was somewhere in the complex that Ravan had Sita Ma in captivity for a while after he kidnapped Sita Ma from Panchvati. How can one person have two such contrasting truths? I mean, on one hand, he was a great master of scriptures of music, poetry, astrology, and 55 other virtues. And on the other hand, a ruthless 10-heads Dana. To know about Ravan's real face, then we have to know where Ravan kept Sita Ma second time after Sigiriya. Nuwara Eliya, Central Province. In Nuwara Eliya, there is a Sita Aman temple. Is a testimony of Sita Ma having been here. In Ramayana, they call Sita Aman temple is Ashok Vatika. Sita Ma was kept by Ravan and she stayed here for 1 year. Sita Ma meets Sri Hanuman here only. Here are the footprints of Hanumanji which testify that Sita Ma was here. After that, Ravan shifted Sita Ma. If we talk about the past, then Ravan got news from his informatives that Sri Ram and his army reached to the shores of Rameshwaram. Ravan quickly ordered for Sita to be moved to a secret location. Where was this secret location that Ravan have shifted Sita Ma to in a rush? About the 50 km away from the Nuwara area, there is a small town named Ella, Uva province. There is a mysterious cave that is known as Ravan Cave. Could this be a secret place where Ravan had hid Sita? According to Ramayana, Ravan used this cave for hiding Sita. But this massive cave, the history goes far back to 7,000 years. There was an excavation, showed they found a skull cap of human. Therefore, prehistory, this is one of the unique cave in Sri Lanka. In the depth of the cave is a labyrinth-like secret tunnel system. It's some sort of human made, but made with some sort of chemical engineering and other technologies are there. According to folk tales, that is the amazing cave tunnel was built by Ravan for undercover movement across the country and was a part of brilliant defense strategy. What about mystery of Pushpak aircraft? I mean, was Pushpak aircraft real? If we look at Sri Lanka ancient aviation legacy, the expert found an evidence for Pushpak aircraft. Kurunegala, northwestern province. In this Kurunegala cave, and there are some thousands-year-old ancient symbols. There is a sign which resembles the most modern aircraft. According to the researchers, the symbols was written by a person who had linked to outer space. So does this suggest that Ravan's aviation forces extended into the cosmos? According to researchers, Ravan airstrip was mostly situated on plateau top, so the aircraft could harness wind energy. Anuradhapura, North Central Province. There is also some sign in Anuradhapura. There is a rock which is mysterious because carved into its face is a chart called Sakwala Chakra. It is believed that this chart contains an undisclosed code that is a key to unlock a portal that is an ancient gateway through which human can enter universe. For some archaeologists and historians, it is possibly despite a map of the universe. Let's come back to the story. Vibhishan tried to question Ravan that sent back Sita with a due respect. But Ravan did not listen. Vibhishan had two ways. The first way was to support her brother, and the second way to support the Dharma. So Vibhishan support Dharma. Vibhishana modern dilemma even today. Valmiki compelled the pupil to think which is the right path to follow. The battle begins on the battlefield. The war cry raged out loud. Time, faith, the three words, the seven sky, and the whole universe shuddered with this battle. For 7 days, the battle raged hard at Yuddhaganva. All the soldiers of Ravan was killed. There was only one might warrior left with Ravan, whose name was Meghnad. Meghnad defeated Lakshman. Then Hanuman was told that there is a Durnagiri mountain in the Himalayas from where life-saving herb would have to be bought, called Sanjeevani herb, which could save Lakshman's life. So Hanuman bought the whole mountain uprooted from the Himalayas. So when Lakshman was fed herbs, the strength come back inside him. Anavatuna, southern province. In Anavatuna, there is a Rumasala hill. It's unique because researchers have discovered some 150 rare medical herbs. They are found only in this location. So I have a question. How and why are they different? And where did the will come from? They didn't really fall. As per local legends, when Hanuman was flying back to Lanka with the Dronagiri mountain, bits and pieces of its fall along the way. Come back to story. Lakshman's strength come back and Lakshman killed Meghnad. Now there was one warrior left in Lanka. That was Ravan. Ravan come to the battlefield. Vibhishan told Shri Ram that Ravan's life in his navel. Then Shri Ram shot an arrow at Ravan's navel. The arrow hit the target and Ravan's fall to the ground. The great pattern of the destiny had been drawn. Dharma had won. After the great battle of God over evil has been won, Ram and Sita faced one another. But what happened next stand three words. Dirvumpula, Huva province. In Dirvumpula, there is what temple unfold this story. Ram cast aspersion on Sita's chastity because she had been in Ravan's custody for a long time. Not only that, he wanted to Sita to undergo a trial by fire. Sita had given a fire test in this temple. Sita had passed in the fire test. Ram, Lakshman and Sita left for Ayodhya from Skyroot. But there was someone who was blocking their path. Tringomali. eastern province. The great knowledgeable Brahman was killed by Sri Ram. Perhaps this Brahman murder brain was chasing them. In the Shiv temple of Tringumali, here Sri Ram got freedom from the Brahman murder defect. Sri Ram started his journey to Ayodhya after getting the blessing of Lord Shiva. The great victory over wrong he had won, the banner of justice and of honor. The glory of the sun he cast, created new history. The joyful cheers they sang out bright, the sky lit up with billions lights. With billions lights, Deepavali celebrates. The Emperor Ram had returned home, triumphant as he entered the gates. Between that day and now, thousands of years passed, but every year on this day of Diwali, and the entire nation celebrates the homecoming of Ram. Whether we look at it through a religion lens, or a political one, or even just as a story, it's Jivan Shastra, a way of life. Its powerful characters reflect in our being from time to time, which is why the story is timeless and had no borders. Not just India, eliminates the consequence of people across the world.